Hello, we are back. This will be Phantom Tollbooth, Act 2, Scene 1, Part 3. And I left off reading paragraph 85, which the guy I'm calling Dodie had this very complicated story problem, and it was making my brain hurt. So now I'm back, and we will continue reading. So, Humbug, he's grumbling, and his pencil snaps. Where would you find a beaver that big? Dodie, I don't know, but if you did, you'd certainly know what to do with him. That's crazy. That may be true, but it's completely accurate. And as long as the answer is right, who cares if the question is wrong? Oh my goodness. Talk, who has been patiently still doing the first problem. All three roads arrive at the same place at the same time. Dodie, correct. And I'll take you there myself. The blackboard rolls off, off the stage, and all four get in the car and drive up. Now, you see how important problems are. If you hadn't done this one properly, you might have gone the wrong way. But if all roads arrive at the same place at the same time, then aren't they all the right road? He's glaring from his upset face. Certainly not. They're all the wrong way. Just because you have a choice, it doesn't mean that any of them has to be right, pointing in another direction. That way to Digitopolis, and we'll be there any moment. Suddenly the lighting grows dimmer, so it's getting darker. In fact, we're here. Welcome to the land of numbers. So Humbug looks around at the barren landscape, and a barren landscape would be there's just like nothing there. And he says, it doesn't look very inviting. Is this the place where numbers are made? They're not made. You have to dig for them. Don't you know anything at all about numbers? Well, I never really thought they were very important. Not important. Could you have tea for two without the two, or three blind mice without the three? And how would you sell the 7 C's without the 7? All I meant was... So he's still shouting angrily. If you had high hopes, how would you know how high they were? And did you know that narrow escapes come in different widths? Would you travel the whole world wide without ever knowing how wide it was? And how could you do anything at long last without knowing how long the last was? Why, numbers are the most beautiful and valuable things in the world. Now just follow me and I'll show you. He motions to them and pantomimes, which means like he's kind of like showing them walking through rocky terrain, which is like rocky gravel around like landscape, and the others are following, or in tow means are following. A doorway similar to the toll booth appears. He opens it and motions the others to follow him through. Come along, I can't wait for you all day. They enter the doorway and the lights are dimmed very low to simulate, which means to make it feel like you're in the inside of a cave. The sounds of scraping, tapping, scuffing, and digging are heard around them. He hands them helmets with flashlights attached. Put these on. Now, before we go on, I want to explain this. A lot of times in English, we will use numbers in figurative language. So this is kind of like I love you more than the whole wide world. And he's just saying, you really can't measure. He's like, how wide is it? He's trying to show the importance of numbers through this figurative language that we have in the English language. So that's really all that's saying. And he's just trying to show importance of numbers. All right, here we go. Where are we going? Here, we're here. This is the numbers mine. The lights come up a little and they reveal little men digging and chopping and shoveling and scraping. Right this way and watch your step. His voice echoes and reverberates, which kind of means like shakes a little bit back and forth. Iridescent, which means showing different colors when seen from different angles. So kind of think of like when we have like almost like a hologram. You can stickers, hologram stickers, where you move in one direction and they show one picture. So there, it's iridescent and glittering numbers seem to sparkle everywhere. Whose mine is it? So a mine, as in they are underground or somewhere digging. The voice of the mathematician. By the 4,827,659 hairs on my head, it's mine, of course. Enter the mathematician carrying his long staff, which looks like is like a stick, which looks like a giant pencil. Humbug is already kind of intimidated and he's kind of scared. It's a lovely mind, really, it is. Proudly, mathematician says, the biggest number mine in the kingdom. Excitedly, Milo says, are there any precious stones in it? Precious stones? By the 8,247,312 threads in my rope, I'll say that there are. Look here. He reaches in a cart, pulls out a small object, polishes it vigorously, and holds it up to the light where it sparkles. But that's a 5. Exactly. As valuable a jewel as you will find anywhere. Look at some of the others. He scoops up others and pours them into Milo's arms. They include all numbers from 1 to 9 and an assortment of zeros. Dodie says, we dig them and polish them right here and then send them all over the world. Marvelous, aren't they? They are beautiful. He holds them up to compare them to the numbers on his clock body. So that's where they come from? He looks at them and carefully hands them back, but drops a few, which smash and break in half. Oh, I'm sorry. Scooping them up. Oh, don't worry about that. We use broken ones for fractions. Okay, so that made me laugh just a touch because fractions are parts of a whole number. So the broken number is a part of a whole number. So, how about some lunch? He takes out a little whistle and blows it. 2 miners rush in, carrying an immense, which is huge, cauldron, which is bubbling and steaming. The workers put down their tools and gather around to eat. That looks delicious. Talk and Milo also look hungrily at the pot. Perhaps you'd care for something to eat. Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. Humbug is already eating. Delicious. And they all finish their bowls immediately. Please have another portion. They eat and finish. Mathematician serves them again. Don't stop now. They finish. Come on, no need to be bashful, which that means shy. And he serves them again. And to talk and humbug as he finishes, so Milo is saying this. Do you want to hear something strange? Each one I eat makes me a little hungrier than before. Mathematician. Do have some more. He serves them again, and they eat frantically until the mathematician blows his whistle again and the pot is removed. Humbug is holding his stomach. Oh, I think I'm starving. Me too, and I ate so much. Dee wiping the gravy from several of his mouths. Yes, it was delicious, wasn't it? It's the specialty of the kingdom. Subtraction stew. Oh, so it's taking hunger. It's taking away your food and making you more hungry. Talk, weak from hunger, says, I have more of an appetite than when I began. Certainly, what did you expect? The more you eat, the hungrier you get. Everyone knows that. They do? Then how do you get enough? Enough? Here in Digitopolis, we have our meals when we're full and eat when we're hungry. That way, when you don't have anything at all, you have more than enough. It's a very economical system. You must have been stuffed to have eaten so much. I don't get this at all. Dodie says, it's completely logical. The more you want, the less you get. And the less you get, the more you have. Simple arithmetic, that's all. Talk, Milo, and Humbug all look at him blankly like he's crazy. Now look, suppose you had something and added nothing to it. What would you have? The same? Splendid. And suppose you had something and added less of nothing to it. What would you have then? Starvation. Oh, I'm so hungry. Now, it's not as bad as all that. In a few hours, you'll be nice and full again, just in time for dinner. But I only eat when I'm hungry. He's waving the eraser of his staff. That was a curious idea. The next thing you'll have us believing that you only sleep when you're tired. The mine has the mine has disappeared as well as the miners. And I'm going to stop right there because it looks like it's maybe changing the scene.